So what if you could actually launch a real, profitable AI business with just 500 bucks? I'm serious, no coding degree, no hunting for venture capital, and you don't even have to quit your day job. Today, we're jumping into an explainer on a playbook from serial entrepreneur Chris Koerner that pretty much flips the whole Silicon Valley startup myth on its head.
Okay, let's just start with this quote because it really makes you stop and think, right? Koerner, who's launched something like 80 businesses, basically says our whole obsession with following our passion is a trap. He argues the first step isn't about finding what you love. It's about finding what actually pays the bills. You know, we all have that dream of passive income, making money while you're sleeping. But Koerner, he calls that a total fantasy, a silver bullet that just doesn't exist at the beginning. He says that to get to that easy money, you have to start with its complete opposite.
And this slide right here really breaks it down. On the left, you've got the dream that everyone's selling you online. But on the right, that's the reality. He calls it sweaty, ugly income. This is the hands-on, active grind. We're talking cold calling people, manually packing boxes, the stuff that's absolutely necessary to build something real. You just can't automate a business that doesn't even exist yet.
All right, here comes the second piece of advice that sounds totally wrong but is actually brilliant. Stop trying to invent the next big thing. Seriously, instead, find a boring business that's already making money and just do that.
And this is all about a huge shift in how you think about business. It's about going from being an innovator to being an executor. The innovator, they're taking on all the risk, trying to convince the world their new idea is amazing. But the executor, they're starting with a business model that the market has already said yes to. The risk isn't if the idea works, it's just about how well you can pull it off.
And this is the cool part. This is how you do it, with tools that are totally free. You can hop on the web archive to see how a competitor's website has changed over the years, or use a tool like SimilarWeb to see where their customers are coming from. This lets you basically reverse engineer their success and start where they are today, not where they were 5 years ago. Now, let's be super clear here. You are copying the business model, the pricing, the service, who they sell to, not their logo, not their brand, and definitely not their intellectual property.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm not a tech person. How could I possibly compete? Well, this next part is the answer. This is where the entire game has changed, and it's your unfair advantage heading into 2025.
This right here, this is the #1 thing that stops millions of people from even trying. It's the belief that building software or an app is some kind of dark art reserved only for engineers. Well, guess what? That barrier is officially gone.
Let me introduce you to vibe coding. And honestly, it's pretty much what it sounds like. You just describe the vibe, what you want the app to do, how you want it to look, how it should feel, using plain English. And AI tools go and build it for you. This is the great equalizer, for real.
And just look at how simple this is. Step 1, you write down your idea. Something like, build me a simple customer management app for dog trainers. Step 2, you copy and paste that into a tool like Replit. Step 3, boom, you get a working application. Yeah, you might need to tweak it with a few more prompts, but you've just gone from an idea to a product in a matter of minutes, not months or years.
Okay, let's make this tangible. We've talked about the mindset, we've talked about the tools, so now let's get into what Koerner says is the #1 business opportunity you can start literally today.
And yep, that is the starting price, $500. And most of that money isn't even for software. A lot of these tools have free trials. That money is for running your first few ads to prove people actually want what you're selling and to land that first paying customer.
This chart right here, this tells you exactly where the gold mine is. We're talking about small and medium-sized businesses. Think about your local dentist, roofing companies, the shops down the street. A whopping 77% of them know they need AI to keep up, but they are completely intimidated by it. Only 5% are actually using it. They don't need some complex robot. They need a person to help them bridge that massive gap.
And that's where you come in. You become that human bridge. As you can see, the #1 idea is to start a small AI agency for these businesses. You use vibe coding to build super simple tools for them, like an AI voice agent that can answer their phone after hours, and you charge them a setup fee plus a monthly retainer to keep it running. You're not selling them complicated tech. You're selling them a simple solution to a real problem they already know they have.
But now we gotta have a little reality check. This all sounds really accessible, and it is. But that does not mean it's easy, and it definitely doesn't mean it's the right path for everybody. This is not some magic fix for your life. This might be the most important takeaway from this whole thing. Entrepreneurship isn't a solution to all your problems. It's really just choosing a different set of problems you'd rather have.
And this slide just lays out that trade-off perfectly. You are choosing to give up the safety of a steady paycheck, of knowing what your week looks like, and what do you get in return? Volatility, a ton of uncertainty, but also the potential for real freedom and ownership. And that word, potential, is doing a lot of work there. It's no guarantee.
So look, the goal here isn't to tell you to quit your job tomorrow and go all in. The real beauty of a $500 AI startup is that you can test this trade-off. You can do it on a small scale on nights and weekends. You can find out if you actually like the hustle before you risk everything. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to run that experiment?